In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of wealth. The worker will raise one eyebrow, as if puzzled by your request. Ask a second time, and the worker will shrug and take you across the street, where an opulent mansion awaits. If you're observant by nature, you may notice that the mansion was not there when you started your quest. Its owner would rather you didn't think about such things. Inside the front door will lie a grand staircase, spiraling up across the foyer. The walls will be covered with fine paintings, and a large marble statue will rest on a pedestal by the base of the stairs. The statue's eldritch features will evoke an image of a truly horrific beast, at once both alien and evil. Admire it all you want, but don't touch it, unless you wish to awaken this starved monster. Ascend the staircase. As long as you don't touch anything, you'll be safe. Don't panic. At the top of the stairs you'll find a small wooden door. Its plain and unassuming appearance is a sharp contrast to its decadent surroundings. It'll open on its own for you, so long as you're not afraid. Past it, you'll see a man with a pointed goatee and short, cropped gelled hair standing behind a large mahogany desk. His suit is made of both human flesh and Italian silk. He may speak, and at great length. He'll talk about his amazingly beautiful house and the lovely statue of his concubine resting downstairs. Do not interrupt him, and do not answer any questions he may ask. When he's finished, steel yourself and confidently ask, "May I have my salary?" He'll proceed to explain to you, in great detail, the value of life. He'll talk of things worse than death, and he'll tell you exactly what he expects you to do. The fabulous interior of the room will rot away, and the floor will turn from French weave to feces. The man's appearance will become cyclopic and unimaginably horrendous. He'll fish out a small banknote from the pockets of his human suit and hand it to you. That note is Object 8 of 538. Its holder is counting on you to spend it. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of wisdom. The desk clerk will chuckle and guide you to an empty room. They'll hand you a key and tell you to wait some time in the room until you hear a bell ring. When it rings, you have to lock the door through which you entered. Wait until a second ring and unlock it. Once those instructions have been carried out, the door will open all by itself and reveal a long hallway, with every conceivable color painted onto the walls, ceiling, and floor. Follow the hallway until you hear a little girl singing. Stop, close your eyes, and stay where you are until the girl finishes the song. If you fail to remain perfectly still, run. Run back to the door through which you came, as fast as you can. Jump through the window of the room where you waited earlier, and you might live. Should you be unable to reach the window in time, you'll be dragged back into the hallway by something that is definitely not a little girl. You'll be pulled by this horror until time itself ends, forever feeling the pain of every soul dragged to an early grave. If, on the other hand, you manage to remain perfectly still until the song ceases, you'll be free to either turn around and leave forever, or venture further into this realm. If you prefer the latter course of action, walk deeper into the hallway until you reach a human-shaped door. Open it with the same key that was given to you earlier. Step inside and close the door behind you. In the middle of the room, you'll see a desk with a bright candle. Behind the desk is a man, whose face is invisible behind the shine of the candle. Approach, but always keep the flame between you and the man's face, for if you witness what he looks like, your gaze will be fixed on his until your own hands have removed every inch of skin from your bones. Stop when you're 5 steps away from the desk. The man will raise his hand and gesture you to come closer, but do not step any further than this. Close your eyes and ask him one question. Who'll bring them back together? You'll hear the man rise from his chair and begin to pray in a language that you'll not understand. After 2 minutes, you'll hear a name. If you hear Anubis, then you had best utter your own prayers in the short time you'll have to do so. But if it is Thor you hear, then you may open your eyes. You'll see the man's severed head lying on his desk, still speaking. After another 3 minutes, his prayer will cease, and he'll tell you how you'll die. He'll describe every minute detail of your horrible death, and you'll be unable to move or react while he explains your end. Lastly, he'll describe the one who'll steal your life away from you, and go into such detail as to why it is necessary that you yourself will question which would be worse, you being murdered or you being allowed to continue to live. Eventually, the head will finish its ghastly tale. It is Object 9 of 538. It is up to you what you do with the knowledge of your death. For now, it is inevitable. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit a man who calls himself the holder of ambition. The sound that escapes the mouth of the worker will be so slight and betray so little reaction that at first, you may not even be sure your words were heard. All doubt will be settled when they guide you toward a stairwell lit by many windows. At the top of these stairs, the worker will leave you to continue your journey alone. You'll find yourself standing at the beginning of an eerily calm hallway. Walk to the end. In all likelihood, you'll encounter a shadow that moves along the wall. Do not follow it, for it is the one thing that'll lead you to a place you do not wish to go. A place filled with your silent fears and failures from which you cannot return. No matter what shape the shadow takes, and no matter how it eases and taunts your dreams with the greatest of your desires and hopes, do not even let it tempt your gaze, let alone your feet. If you make it to the end of the hallway without losing sight of your goal, you'll find an open doorway with no locks, bolts, or restraints. A soft light bathes the floor in front of the opening. This is your one and only chance to leave without facing the holder of ambition or collecting his object. If that is the course of action you wish to take, then walk directly back the way you came, without attempting to peek around or into other doors, lest you discover what that seductive shadow hides. Beyond the doorway lies a room, bathed in an artificial light cast by high windows that cover each wall's expanse. At the room's center stands a tall, healthy man, standing naked and looking out into the light. His body is covered in uncountable tattoos and scars. Only his face is recognizable as unaltered human flesh. You might be tempted to look where he looks, in search of the object of his focus. Feel free, but you'll see nothing and learn nothing. The man will not react to anything other than the question, what joins them together? When asked, he'll turn to look you in the eyes. Meet his gaze. But know that if you're not prepared, if there is even the slightest doubt of your intentions, then you'll lose yourself in his soulless eyes for an eternity. If, on the other hand, your gaze is an honest one, then he'll begin to speak in a low voice. His tone will be a comical one, his tale told as if they meant nothing at all. But you must not miss a word, for this story is your preparation. Listen carefully to his tale, and remember every detail. When the man finishes speaking, he'll bring his hands to his chest and remove the sutures from one of his more noticeable scars. As the stitches come out, he'll bleed profusely and fatally. When the last of his sutures have come out, he'll offer them to you, uttering his final words through his own gurgling blood. Choosing to seek leads to an inevitable fate. The clump of sutures is Object 10 of 538. How you use them depends on what you hear.